Hey everyone. Welcome to I think my second live stream. If ever. Like I said and what I promised, I am going to be doing a review of the new Space Wolf supplement, and also along this is going to be a nice, good tactical talk. So let's so. I'm gonna try and make. I'm not gonna try and. I'm gonna use this kind of like a way to kind of get all this out a little. Like I'm not gonna constrain myself to like, oh, I gotta do this in 1 hour or two. But it's like I'm gonna try and hold out with you guys as best I can. So let's get started. First off, I really love the artwork on the front. It's very fun, and it's like a nice combination of Primaris Marines and the Wolfguard Terminators. So that just gives you a decent feel. And I like the dynamic. I like the dynamic that it has in the artwork. And also what we're going to be doing, and also what I'm going to be doing is that because we're required to have this, because it contains basically a considerably large amount of stuff that can be used with this. So, and I know a lot of people, I know a lot of Space Wolf players, they kind of have this whole thing about, oh, you know what, what am I gonna like? Do I have to have a lot of? Because I'm hearing a lot of questions. Do I have to have the Space Marine Codex to play the Space Wolf supplement? And the answer is yes. You definitely need it. So, and also I kind of have a little for reference my old the 7th edition Champions of Fenris supplement. There I was like, because I was seeing a couple of things in the reviews in the other YouTuber reviews that were talking about that were in here, and so let's get started, shall we? Okay, so we kind of took you through. Like in my announcement video, I kind of took you through a bit of the artwork of this. So let's see. And actually, what's interesting is the in the lore stuff that talks about what it talks about is the on the Champions of Fenris. It talks about in Logan Grimrod section. It talks about the Kin Pact Decree. That talks about how the other Space Wolf successor chapters, and they only mention one. They only mention one by name, but there are actually multiple ones that are Space Wolf descendant. So let's see. Now I know a lot of people. Now the thing is I got the hues of the storm. Now the thing is that I wish that what I wish they did is that they explain this a little more, because what it is that they've added so many Primaris models that we don't know what color many of them should be. Like Assault Intercessors, should they belong to a Grey Hunter pack, or should they belong to a Blood Claw pack? Now the thing is that I think it doesn't really matter, because I think it doesn't really matter because it's like intercessors would be required. Like the intercessors would be the assault intercessors would be close support and like close combat support. So I would say they would be Blood Claws, but also because they're intercessors and they're capable of adapting from their bolt guns and their bolt rifles to chain swords and heavy bolt pistols, that they would be kind of Grey Hunter packs. There'd be a Grey Hunter pack, and it's like It's very confusing because like we really don't entirely know. I was reading through because I was reading through the White Dwarf that came out earlier this year. Yeah, earlier this year, and it was talking about the how the some like they were trying to introduce some lore on how the packs were organized, it reorganized a little bit so that they could incorporate Primaris Marines into the hierarchy of the chapter. So it's so it really kind of so it really kind of so you really don't exactly know. So let's see here. All right, so Hues of the Storm. It basically gives you. I really like that that they've introduced the great company sigils. But the problem is that I want them to be able to be transfers, or is like, or do, or what basically what they should do is do a type of painting tutorial on how to do the chapter badge, the great company markings. Because it's like, from what because I want to do Anger Kraken Doom. So the way I see it is that if you're doing Anger Kraken Doom, what you do is like you use a Space Wolf Gray, you use the regular Space Wolf again on the shoulder pads, regular Space Wolf armor, and what you do is you paint on the Kraken Doom marking. Let's see. So it says here that eradicators are gray. So basically, it's saying show in the colors. It's showing that the eradicators are gray hunters, but I don't know. It seems more of a long fang pack to me. So let's see. All right, we're into the rules. And one moment, because I have other things that drive me nuts. Sorry, it's just All right, so here's what we're doing here. We've got the Battleforge rules, Army rules, matched play rules, Crusade rules, data sheets, war gear, points, and rules references. So it says here. So let's go into. All right. All right. So successor chapters. So basically successor chapters get a hold of. Can have our warlord traits. They can have our detachment abilities and stratagems, sagas, chapter relics, psychic powers, even crusade rules. And I really like that they gave you a bit of an example of a combat patrol detachment, and it's I know it's all Primaris Marines, and it's like I like this. Here's the thing. I got into not an argument, but I got into a conversation with someone, and they were saying, and we both agreed that when it comes to Primaris Marines, you're dealing with things like what makes them attractive is the power. Like, here's the thing: armor penetration spam. I remember back in 7th edition, what ended up happening was that what they introduced was, what I was noticing was that so many weapons were becoming armor penetration 3, armor penetration 2. So meaning that it bypassed the armor penetration. So basically, if you had an armor save of a 3, the armor penetration of the weapon was a AP3. So what ended up happening, it bypassed your power, it bypassed your armor save. So the only way you could survive was with an invul save. So basically you had this thing called, so basically the AP spam was just becoming too much, and it wasn't fitting with the lore as well. but the way I see it is like with the AP spam, it helps speed up the game because because it's like, oh, I can kill more, units. But what they're trying to do to tamp it down, the AP is to tamp it down a little, is by increasing the number of wounds that models have, but also kind of taking like, oh, this weapon is only 1 damage. It's a good weapon, but it's only 1 damage. So, all right. So let's see. Oh no, I bypassed the. Okay. So you have so here are our detachment abilities. Attachment abilities are Swift Claw, Swift Claws, so which are bikers. They get Berserk Charge and Headstrong. If you're a unit in your army has the Space Wolves keyword, then every unit in that has the Combat Doctrine's ability and is in a Space Wolves detachment gains the Savage Fury rules. And while in Savage Fury, basically it was packed in from the Saga of the Beast book. So what ends up happening is that rolls of a 6. So basically, when the Assault Doctrine is active, your rolls of a 6 become what? Generate an additional hit, not an additional attack, an additional hit. Let's see here. Need to make sure here. So all right. So here's the strat. So, okay, now we're going to stratagems, and I like these stratagems. I really do. I really like the stratagems because it's like go for the throat. Now the thing is that a major change that I know a lot of people got upset about is that we didn't have a lot of time with the Saga of the Beast rules. So what ended up happening was that when the new codex when the FAQ update came in, and like we moved on to the other rule book, the new rule book. What happened is that they kept some of the rules for a time in the FAQ, but they got rid of all of them after they got rid of all of them, and they said like, okay, we're not going to keep these. I can understand that. So let's go through the stratagems. Go for the throat. Use a stratagem in your command phase if the Assault Doctrine is active for your army. Until your next command phase, each time a Space Wolves model from your army makes an attack with a pistol or melee weapon, an unmodified wound roll of 6 improves the armor penetration characteristic of that attack by 1. It's cumulative with the Combat Doctrine, but you can only use it once per battle. But you can only use it once per battle. So basically, if you can get most of your models into close combat, close enough, like I'd say 3rd turn, you could have as many of your assault units or multi-combat units ready to go with AP -2 chain swords, and also or actually no. Here's what you do: because it's the Assault Doctrine, your bolt pistols would become AP minus. Your bolt pistols would become AP -1, AP minus. Then they can be bumped up to AP -2. Or if you're taking heavy bolt pistols, they're going to be AP -3. Cunning of the Wolf, they kept that. It allows you to take an infantry model. I mean, not an infantry model, but an infantry unit to. And they gain the outflank ability, meaning that you don't have to spend. Meaning that you can take, like, say, a very big squad of Wolfen, and for 1 command point, they can outflank without having to spend more command points. Because that's how the strategic reserve is. You can that's how the strategic reserve rule for the game is. It's like you could put guys into flanking reserve, but you have to spend a load of command points in order for them to do so. The Emperor's Executioners. Now you can use it. Now you can only use this against 1,000 Suns, but it's actually pretty decent. From your army, select a use a stratagem in the fight phase when a Space Wolves unit from your army is selected to fight. Until the end of the phase, each time a model in that unit makes a melee attack against a Thousand Suns unit, you can re-roll the hit roll and you can re-roll the wound roll. So it just increases your chances of scoring more damage. It just increases your chances of scoring more damage. So it's like if you're going up against Thousand Suns, and believe me, you're gonna have a lot of chaos related stuff. It's all right. I am very parched. All right. Savage Strike. Now this is a good one. Use this stratagem in your fight phase when a Space Wolves unit from your army is selected to fight. If that unit made a charge move this turn, then until that fight is resolved, each time a model in that unit makes a melee attack, add 1 to that attack's wound roll. Oh, so you hit on 2. So basically, because you're charged, because of the Space Wolves combat strategy, the chapter tactic, which adds +1 to your hit rolls when you're hit rolls when you charge. You can basically, you're hitting on 2s, and you can actually be potentially wounding on 2s. Now let's see, healing bombs. It's now the thing is that I'm as miffed as a lot of you, because healing bombs was a special ability for the chapter for the chaplains, our wolf priests. But now, because what it is that now, because our chaplains our wolf priests have this feature. It's no longer it's not like automatic. It has to be like, it's not like included automatically. It's just you have to spend a command point to give a model D3 wounds, and you can't revive. And like Space Wolves, you can't revive. You can't revive these guys. You can't revive your unit. So what it is that you can use it for infantry guys. You can use it for bikers. You can use it on cavalry, actually. And actually, it's not bad. It's not bad. The model regains up to D3 lost wounds. You can use it once per turn. Each model can only use it. Each model can only be healed once per turn. It's good. It's decent. It keeps some very special characters alive. Some very special models alive. Let's see here. Pack hunters. Pack hunters I like. It's effective. It also makes your Fenrisian wolves and cavalry units effective. Use this stratagem in your charge phase. Select one enemy unit within engagement range of any Space Wolves unit from your army. Until the end of the turn, each time a friendly Space Wolves beast or cavalry model declares a charge that targets the selected unit, roll 1 additional d6 and discard 1 of the dice. So basically, roll 3d6, pick the 2 highest. Until the end of the turn, each time a friendly Space Wolves cavalry model makes an attack with its crushing teeth and claws, and each time a friendly Space Wolves beast model makes an attack with their teeth and claws, you can re-roll the wound rolls. So that's a powerful ability right there. That's incredibly powerful. And also basically what it does is that it allows your Fenrisian wolves and Thunderwolf cavalry to act as a rapid response force when it comes to assault. So it's like if you're 12 inches out, so basically say, and also because you're like less than 12 inches out, I'd say 10. what you do is it's like, okay, you move 10 inches because that's the range of movement for these guys, and they can advance an additional d6. So you're getting close. So you roll 3d6, then use pack hunters, which is two command points. I didn't mention it's a little pricey, but it's useful. It allows you to get some of your most powerful units. It allows you to provide backup, for efficient backup, as so that your unit can actually engage, can actually take out another unit. This is one of the things I was watching. I was watching Norn Queen Alexis. What she said that intrigued me so much. It's that the Space Wolves are a counterattack army. They're not really. They're counter assault. They're not really. They're not. You can tailor them to be fully assault, but they're more akin to a counter assault force, meaning that they can take a punch, but they're gonna keep. But they can hit back harder, and with more fury of attack. So basically, they lure you in, but you start attacking. But you can attack them twice as hard. Relentless assault until it's a one command point. Use this stratagem in the fight phase when a Space Wolves unit from your army consolidates. Each time a model in that unit can move up to an additional 3 inches for that consolidation move. This is not cumulative with any other rule that increases the distance models can pile in or consolidate. So basically, it's saying that you can do it's a 6-inch consolidation move, meaning you can you can tie up your opponent's other units to stop them from trying to shoot. Like, say you've got your opponent's movement is 6 inches away. Your opponent's guy is less than 6 inches. Shooting you is less than 6 inches away. You can consolidate into them, and then you can basically tie them up, stop them from trying to engage. They can try it. They can fall back, but by falling back, it comes at a cost. They can't mean that they can't shoot, they can't charge, unless they have a special rule that says they can. Let's see. Cloaked by the storm. Now we're out of the battle tactic stratagems, and we're into the epic deed stratagems. Now from Saga of the Beast is Cloaked by the Storm, or was it from the last Space Wolves Codex? I can't quite remember. Use this stratagem in your psychic phase. Yeah, I think it's from the Codex. Use this stratagem in your psychic phase after resolving the effects of a psychic power from the Tempestus discipline. Manifest a Space Wolf Psyker model manifested by a Space Wolf Psyker model from your army until the start of your next psychic phase. Each time a ranged attack is made against a friendly Space Wolves unit within 6 inches of that Psyker, subtract 1 from that attack's hit roll. So basically, it's like you gain an additional. It's a -1 hit to your opponent for shooting if they try to if after my rune priest has used his Tempestus discipline. Let's see here. Deed worthy of a saga. Now we're gonna get into sagas a little more later on down the road. Deed worthy of a saga. Use this stratagem in any phase when a Space Wolves character model from your army that does not have a warlord trait meets the requirements for a deed. Now we're gonna get it. Like I said, we're gonna get into deeds a little later. At the end of the phase until the end of the battle, that model gains the saga ability associated with that deed. It's 2 command points. A trophy bestowed. Now this is basically where you can use your successor chapters to you can use your successor chapters to you can give them you can give a successor chapter character a relic, a relic or special issue war gear. Let's see. But the relic has to be from Codex Space Marines. You can't let's see. Hold on. You can give one relic of the Fang to a character from your army that is drawn from the Space Wolves successor chapter, instead of giving them a special issue war gear relic or a chapter relic from Codex Space Marines. If you do, replace the Space Wolves keyword in all instances in that relic, if any, with that model's successor chapter keyword. You can only use this stratagem once. Not bad. It's not bad. It's just saying that I can give my successor chapter a little token of our appreciation. Thane of the Retinue. Now this is Thane of the Retinue. Use this it's one command point. Use a stratagem in your battle. When you are mustering your army if your warlord has a Space Wolves keyword, select one Space Wolves model from your army that has the word sergeant or pack leader. So basically, you can give special issue war gear, certain special issue war gear to your pack leaders, to one pack leader. But so basically, you can do some efficient weaponry on these guys. I find it very. This was used in the old there was a stratagem. It's a stratagem in the other Space Marine supplements. And I was wondering why we never got this. But it's like I was wondering why we never got this. But we could actually use this. But it was actually basically we didn't really need it at the time because we could give our pack leaders some heavy weapons, some very powerful weaponry. Warrior of Legend. So basically, what this does, it's one command point. You can give a. You can use this stratagem after nominating a Space Wolf character. So you can give another warlord trait to another Space Wolf character. Now we're into the strategic ploys. Use this stratagem in your command phase if a combat doctrine is active for your army. Select one Space Wolves infantry, cavalry, or Space Wolves biker unit from your army. Until the start of your next command phase, that unit gains the bonus of the assault doctrine instead of the active combat doctrine. So, wait a minute, let me see here. Use this stratagem in command phase with combat doctrine if a combat. Oh, I see. I see. So basically, if it's the tactical doctrine is active, then what you do is that you so it's like if it's a tactical doctrine, then what you do is that you use then the assault doctrine is active for that unit. Countercharge, 1 to 0 command points. Basically, is like you can basically perform a 6-inch heroic intervention for your units. That costs 1 command point. But if it's a character that's doing the counter charge, then they don't have to pay anything for the counter charge. Keen Senses, excellent ability. What it does is that so basically you can ignore any or all hit roll ballistic skill and weapon skill modifiers, and each time you make a charge roll for that unit, you can ignore any or all modifiers to that charge roll. So basically, the negative modifiers are just going to be. It just basically says, oh, I can charge 2 inches through difficult terrain. I can charge in through terrain without suffering any penalty. And finally, of the stratagems is runic wards. Runic wards are just basically that is treated like a psyker, so you can deny the witch. So the stratagems are actually quite good. I just find that I like how it's not focusing on, it's focusing on infantry, bikers, cavalry. I'm glad that they have something that supports the beasts and that supports the Fenrisian wolves. I know how a lot of us miss that death grip bite, and it's like I was just finding so much of so much. I was just finding like, but the thing is that the Fenrisian, but the thing is that the Thunderwolf cavalry and Fenrisian wolves, they're good units. Don't get me wrong, but they were not getting a lot of support. So we're going to the warlord traits, and I'm really loving the warlord traits. And also alongside the warlord traits are sagas. So the first warlord trait is the one from the Codex Space Marine, which is Beast Slayer, as many of you all know. So while this warlord is within engagement range of any enemy, monster, or vehicle unit, add 1 to its attack characteristics. Each time this warlord makes an attack against a monster or vehicle, add 1 to that attack's hit roll and wound roll. It's good It's good if you're going against things like demons and tyrannids. Wolfkin. For the purposes of shock assault, you get D3. You get D3 attacks when you charge. And Warrior Born. At the start of the fight phase, if this warlord is within engagement range of any enemy units, it can fight first. That's sorry. That's good. That's actually pretty decent. That's actually pretty good if you're trying. That's actually pretty good if you're trying to get this whole. It's good if you're trying to. What I'm liking right now is that this is allowing they're allowing incredible ways to control the flow of the battle. Hunter. Add 1 to advance and charge rolls made for this warlord. This warlord is eligible to charge in a turn in which it advanced or fell back. That's powerful. Adds 1 to advance and charge rolls. And also you can charge when you advanced and fell back. So that's pretty good. Aura of Majesty. Now Aura of Majesty actually provides a decent boost to your that's a decent boost to the to leadership. Let's see. Add 3 inches to the range of this warlord's rites of battle, tactical precision, chapter master, and spiritual leader's abilities, for a maximum of 9 inches. And add 3 to the range of any litanies recited by this warlord, to a maximum of 9. And finally, the warlord traits Resolve the Bear, which we all love. Each time this warlord would lose a wound, roll 1d6. On a 6, that wound is not lost. Each time that attack is made against this warlord, your opponent cannot re-roll the wound roll and cannot re-roll the damage roll. That's powerful. And the name characters like Arak. Arak gets Resolve the Bear. Bjorn the Fell-Handed, Aura of Majesty. Canis Wolfborn, Wolfkin. Harold Deathwolf, Hunter. Crom Dragon Gaze, Warrior Born. Logan Grimnar, Aura of Majesty. And y'all Stormcaller, Resolve of the Bear, which I'm glad. I am really glad. Because why? Because in previous iterations of this codex, y'all kept getting Saga of Majesty. But the problem is that it was wasted on him. It was just poorly. Oh man, this phone just keeps. Ugh. what it is like, because Saga of the Bear gives him some gives Njal some durability. I'm really glad here. uh Ragnar gets Warriorborn, so he gets to fight first, and Ulrich the Slayer, Aura of Majesty, so it increases his litanies. Now the sagas. The sagas are fun, so I'm glad they kept these, but I'm also glad that they modified them in a way that allows them to be a little more effective. So you get saga. So basically, what it is that when these guys who have a saga or the deed of saga have completed the deed, what ends up happening is that they get an aura ability bonus that allows the core units, only core units, to get a significant boost in of abilities. So Saga of the Beast Slayer. The deed of the Beast Slayer is that you have to destroy either a monster or a vehicle, and and core units within 6 inches of it, of the model, they add 1 wound to the attack they add 1 to the attack's wound roll when in melee against a monster or a vehicle. It's not like matching. It's not like matching fit one completely with the warlord traits, but it does provide a decent buff that allows them to become more effective against these things. Wolfkin, Saga of the Wolfkin. You have to destroy, like, an enemy model is destroyed, not a unit, an enemy model, like, because an enemy model. So it's like, just kill a model in melee, and your aura becomes, and at the end of the turn, not at the end of the turn, at the end of the phase, the core units are always considered being in shock assault. Yeah, the model is, so basically they always get +1 to attack. They get +1 attack when they're in close combat, even if they're locked in combat. Let's see, Warriorborn. So basically, it's kind of like what it's like the Warriorborn warlord trait. So what it does is that the unit, they fight first. That unit fights first. Hunter, Saga of the Hunter. For Warriorborn to activate, an enemy character model has to be destroyed. For Hunter, you have to be successfully charge an enemy. All you have to do is charge an enemy. I love that. And what that it is what it is that while a friendly Space Wolves core unit is within 6 inches of this model, that unit is eligible to declare a charge in a turn in which they advanced. So Saga of the Hunter, you can give out advance and charge to these guys. Let's see. Aura of Majesty. So they basically are fearless. And Resolve of the Bear, they get a 6+ feel no pain. I would say no, I won't get to that combo just yet. I'll tell you guys. Now we're into relics. Wonderful relics and special issue war gear. Now I've taken a look at these, and there are some good ones here. The Armor of Russ, 2+ armor save, 4+ impulse save. At the start of the fight phase, you can select one enemy unit within engagement range of the bearer. That unit is not eligible to fight this phase until after all eligible units from your army have done so. Oh, I'm really loving how they're giving the Space Wolves a lot of capabilities of controlling the flow of the battle. I can stop your character from attack. So I have your super powerful character. He can fight, but he can only fight until the rest of my army finishes fighting. So it's like, oh, I can just drop him down to a ton of drop him down. I can basically kill him before he gets a chance to even do anything, or wipe out an entire unit. The Wolfenstone. The bear has the following ability: Bestial Charge. While a friendly Space Wolves core unit is within 6 inches of the bear, you can reroll charge rolls made for that unit. Once per battle, at the start of the fight phase, the bearer can evoke the spirits of the Wolfen. If it does so, select one friendly Space Wolves unit within 6 inches of the bearer that has the Savage Fury ability. Until the end of the phase, each time a model in that unit makes an attack, an additional hit scores as a result of the side is achieved on an unmodified hit roll of 5 instead of 6. That's powerful. That's powerful right there. Just do a drop pod, and you've got just do a drop pod, and we all know what the litany of what the Canticles of Hate litany can do. It's like it adds +2 to your charge rolls. I use Wolfenstone to reroll charges for your Blood Claws, and you're solid. Fireheart. It's a plasma pistol. Now, it's a plasma pistol, but it's a powerful plasma pistol. Range 8. Pistol 1, strength 9. It becomes AP -5. It basically becomes AP -5 in the Assault Doctrine. And D3 and causes 3 damage. Let's see. Black Death. Black Death is a strength +2, AP -2, 1 damage. And each time the bearer fights, it makes D6 additional attacks with this weapon. So I would say Black Death with Wolfkin. That's an additional D. So basically, you're always making D3 plus D6 attacks when you're in close combat, along with your additional base attacks. And I know it's one damage, and the thing is, like a lot of these guys, they say, "Oh well, why have that?" Because we have the. Hold on, let me just grab my Space Marine. Let me just grab my Space Marine Codex. Let me just. Because there's this one weapon that a lot of players like to suggest better. It's a relic, and warlord traits. Here it is, the Teeth of Terra. Now the Teeth of Terra are strength +1, AP -2, but cause 2 damage. But it's like I can just try. I mean, that's an additional. The chances are that the chances are that you will get a low hit count is slim, very slim. So you have the Mountain Breaker. So we have the Mountain Breaker helm. The Mountain Breaker helm. So basically, after making close combat attacks with the bearer, before they consolidate, you can select one enemy unit within 1 inch of the bearer and roll D6. On a 2+, that unit suffers D3 mortal wounds. So basically, it's a ram. So basically, you have a ram helmet. Wouldn't it be kind of funny if you created like a helmet, like a Space Marine helmet, and you kind of have like a Princess Leia bun on the sides that look like, to try and make it look like a ram head. Take a wolf stylized helm and try to do that. That would be funny. Let's see. After making close combat attacks with the bearer before they consolidate, not after they consolidate. Yeah, so basically you can add you get D3 mortal wounds to that unit to kind of as insult, as more insult to injury. Storm's Eye is a librarian. Now, Storm's Eye is a librarian model. If it's for librarians, it basically says the bearer can. So basically, when you use a psychic power, 12-inch each enemy unit within 12 inches suffer on a 4+ that suffers 1 mortal wound. Not bad, not that great, but not bad. But it's also like you're trying to put as much damage on these guys as possible. Like a mortal wound, that's like an additional mortal wound. That's 1 mortal wound that's 1 model or one mortal wound that's just gone. The Pelt of Beowulf. Now this is where the Saga of the Bear, where the Bear Warlord trait really can shine. Each time a melee attack is made against the bear, subtract 1 from that attack's hit roll and wound roll. So you send a guy in there with the bear's warlord trait. They get 6+ feel no. They can get 6+ feel no pain, and the opponent cannot reroll wound rolls and cannot reroll damage rolls. So. Pelt of the Beowulf. So you're trying. So you hit me on 3. Oh, you hit me on 3s. No, you hit me. No, you can only hit me on 4s now. You hit me on. But this is only for melee. So you're gonna want to get into melee range. But Pelt of the Beowulf is a relic from the Champions of Fenris supplement. Did I say Pelt of the Beowulf? I thought it says Pelt of Beowulf. But I know a lot of people say Pelt of the Beowulf. That's powerful. That's good. That's a good combination. Special issue war gear. Now we get everything like the adamantine mantle, artificer armor, mastercrafted weapons, digital weapons. We have a return of the Mordecai's teeth bolts, which allow you to shoot at what, like, okay, have a pack hunter and have a pack leader, and you give them that special those Mordecai teeth bolts. They have 1 shot, but everything else, basically everything else, that's you can reroll wound rolls of 1 against that. So basically it's very good. Wolf Tail Talisman. So Wolf Tail Talisman is basically a ward save against psychic power. So you get a 4+ save against. So if you lose, so it's basically a 4+ feel no pain against psychers. So have that again. So basically have that against. Have that against when fighting against 1,000 Suns or regular psychers. Frost weapons. Now, frost weapons are fun. When you give a model this relic, select one of the following weapons that model is equipped with: Lightning Claws, Mastercrafted Power Axe, or Mastercrafted Sword, Axe, Power Axe, or Power Sword. Add 1 to the strength and damage characteristics for this weapon. If the model is equipped with 2 Lightning Claws, improve the characteristics of both weapons. That weapon or weapons, if that model is equipped with 2 Lightning Claws, is considered to be a chapter relic. So basically, you can fight with 1. So basically, you can fight with 1 claw. That's +1 strength and +1 damage. Excuse me. I rarely. This is why one of the reasons why I rarely do streams, because sometimes it knocks me out, and I bet it's knocking some of you guys out. Okay. So the last of the special issue is runic weapon. So you can only give this to a librarian, but what it does is that it adds 1 to deny the witch test for the bearer. And when you give a model this relic, select one of the following weapons that model is equipped with: Force axe, first aid, add 1 to the strength characteristics of that weapon. That weapon is considered to be a chapter relic. It's powerful. It's decently effective. It's not bad. It's not too bad. The relics in special and war gear are actually quite good. They're damaging. They can help you control the flow of battle, and also they're very thematic. Helps to make these guys a lot more durable. Let's see. The Tempestus Discipline. Living Lightning, Murderous Hurricane. Sorry, I've got to get out of this thing. You have Living Lightning, Murderous Hurricane, Tempest Wrath. Instincts Awoken. So they got rid of the Morkai of the Frekian Giri powers and replaced it with something that can replace it with another thing. Stormcaller and Jaws of the World Wolf. Living Lightning is a Witchfire ability, and they changed it from the previous one. So what it does is that if manifested, the closest enemy unit within 18 inches of the visible and visible to the Psyker suffers D3 mortal wounds. Then roll 1d6 on a 2 to 4. The closest other enemy unit within 6 inches of and visible to that unit suffers 1 mortal wound. On a 5+, it suffers D3 mortal wounds. So they modified, like I said, they modified it previously they modified it from the previous one. It used to be that if the unit was completely destroyed, then it would bounce off it. Then it would fly off and hit another unit. But it would keep going it would keep going. But they've made it so that it's not so powerful, but it's not overpowered. So it's basically, because it used to be, you would have to put in 3 rune priests. Yeah, and you have to put in 3 rune priests. You would have to make sure they were equipped. One of them was equipped with a special relic, and they would have to be close together. But this is a lot easier. This is a lot easier to pull off. Murderous Hurricane. It's a malediction. So basically, if a unit within 18 inches is hit, if that unit is not within. It's not whole. No, sorry. If that unit is not wholly on or within a terrain feature, that unit cannot fire Overwatch. If in the fight phase, that unit is not eligible to fight until after all eligible Space Wolves units from your army have done so. So another power and ability that allows you to control the flow of battle. So they can't fire Overwatch if they get hit with this, and also in the fight phase they can't fight until all other units have done so. Tempest's Wrath. It's another malediction. Now this is what I'm happy about. I'm really, really happy about this. Is that they've allowed maledictions into the Space Wolves stuff, because everything else used to be Witchfire or it used to be Witchfire, but it's now it actually does something that slows an opponent down. If manifested, 1 enemy unit within 12 inches of this Psyker until the start of your next psychic phase. Each time a model in that unit makes an attack, subtract 1 from that attack's hit roll. Now this is actually very good. It's not saying like in Psyker phase. So basically what this does is that in the close combat, so basically you can use this for shooting or in close combat. So it's like, oh, you're shooting at this one. So you're shooting at this. So it's this unit can't fire, can't shoot at you until your next turn. Can't properly shoot at you. But you can also, like, you're charging in. So like if you're charging into these guys, what ends up happening is that that's a -1 to their hit. Now I know that GW doesn't like stacking rules, and it's like, because it's like, oh, you can't do a -2. You can't do it can't be like -2 to their hit rolls. So it's like, because like negative modifiers, they say can't be greater than 2, can't be greater than 1. I think negative and positive modifiers can't be greater than 1. That's what they've said. Instincts Awoken is now a blessing power. If manifested, select. If manifested, select one friendly Space Wolves unit within 18 inches of the Psyker. Until the start of that phase, each time a model in that unit makes an attack, the Assault Doctrine is considered to be active for that. Attack instead of the currently active doctrine. If the Assault Doctrine is already active for your army, then on an unmodified wound roll of 6, improve the armor penetration characteristic. This is cumulative with the bonus from the Assault Doctrine. So that's good. It allows you to. So that's good. It allows you to just buff up It allows you to buff up a certain unit. Stormcaller. Stormcaller is a blessing. It's basically, you receive the benefits of light cover. And Jaws of the World Wolf got a little nerfed. I know Jaws of the World Wolf used to be a very powerful auto include. But I think what GW has been trying to do is trying to kind of shave off the amount of stuff that needs to be auto include, because like auto include, you're not playing with the other models, and the other models are not being used. So roll 1d6 for each model in that unit, adding 1 to the result of the psychic test. Oh boy. Getting a little lightheaded right now. If manifested, select one enemy unit within 18 inches of and visible to this Psyker. Roll 1d6 for each model in that unit, adding 1 to the result if the result of the psychic test was 9 or more. For each result roll of a 6, that unit suffers a 6+, that unit suffers 1 mortal wound. So that's good. That's actually pretty good. It use that against hordes. That can shave hordes off for a considerable amount. Now we're going into the chapter approved rules. These are just secondary objectives that you can use. Purge the enemy, glory kills. You score 2 victory points if any character units were destroyed by a Space Wolves unit from your army during this battle. During this battle round, if no characters' units were destroyed, but a character suffered 3 or more wounds as a result of attacks made by Space Wolves units from your army, score 1 victory point instead. The match play rules for because that's good. You have a lot of, the thing is that a lot of these secondary objectives are actually pretty fun, because you have glory kills, heroic challenge, a mighty saga, warrior pride, score 3 victory points at the end of your turn if 2 or more Space Wolf units from your army are within engagement range of any units or have completed a charge move this turn. There are good ways of getting a lot of points. This is the thing. This is what GW's been trying to do. They're trying to get players to play the objective. No more trying. They don't want. You can try and table your opponent, but as long as they play the objective, you're fine. Now there are crusade rules, and I won't get into them. I'll get into these in another video. Although is one thing, you get the Spear of Russ in this. It's a Crusade relic. I'm just gonna go through this one for right now. The Spear of Russ. Once per battle in your command phase, the bearer can take up the Spear of Russ and wield it. If it does, they cannot use any other ranged weapons, ranged or melee weapons for the rest of the battle round, but are equipped with the following weapons. In the shooting phase, 18 inches. Strength times 2, AP minus 4, 6 damage. Spear of Russ in melee. Strength times 2, AP minus 4, 3 damage. While Space Wolf has an ability here. While Space Wolf's unit is within 6 inches of the bearer, each time a model in that unit makes a melee attack, subtract 1 from that attack's hit roll. So it's powerful, but it has a bit of a curse to it. We have the name generator. Oops. Which is actually pretty funny. Hey, Bloodfist. I was hoping they would have a Wolf Lord or Battle Leader. That would be kind of interesting. I was really like, here's the way I see it is that, the whole issue, like one of the issues I find is that, it's a lot to use, because it's like they don't want to be seen, because it's like I know that they don't want to be seen having like, oh, we're gonna have our most unstable, powerful leaders, but you have Bran Redmaw, but it's like I think they try to keep Bran Redmaw away from the front. So I was like, but I remember, but it's like if you've read The Ashes of Prospero, I really want them to have this kind of Lord of the Wolfen. I want them to have a Bran Redmaw model. It's just it would be so much easier. It would really be so much easier to work with that. Because Wolfen are powerful. I mean, I know they got a little nerfed, but they're still quite powerful. So we're going to the data sheets. So we're now finally into data sheets, and I feel like that took forever. Let's see. Now we're at Logan Grimnar. He has a movement 5. He's basically a Terminator chapter master. But he has the High King ability. So he has High King of Fenris. If this model is your warlord, it is always treated as having completed the deed associated with its warlord trait. So he always gives fearless to all of his guys. The Axe Mordecai is actually pretty good. 3 damage when you're wielding it two-handed, but he doesn't get a penalty when he's using it two-handed. Njal Stormcaller, he has the runic armor. His runic armor, they dropped his runic armor down from a 4+ to a 5+. So he has a 5+ invul save. 2+ armor, but he does have a 6+ feel no pain. And you can't reroll wound rolls and reroll damage rolls. So basically, as long as you have his Stormcaller ability, he's always considered being in light cover. No. That wouldn't work. I would say try using that stratagem. What would that stratagem do? I'm looking for it. Cloaked by the Storm. It's 2 command points, but it does give him a decent cushion. Oh yeah. Grimnar on Storm Rider. Now here's what. Now here's the thing. I'm working on my. I'm already working on my Storm Rider because it's like I want because I've had this model. I've had this model for quite like over like 2 years, and I'm almost done with Grimnar's body. I just need to get his face done, but it's like I've kind of been hesitant on this guy. I've already gotten gotten his the wolf the wolves ready to go. I just have to get these painted up. But Grimnar on Storm Rider, he has Swift Hunters. Now, if you don't know, Swift Hunters is basically allowing you to move and to advance and charge at the same time in the same turn. So he can move 10 inches, an additional D6, an additional 2d6. So he's good. I find that you just have to know. But the thing is that he still has a lot. He still has like a lot of wounds. He starts out with 14 wounds. Let's kind of go back here. 14 wounds. He has a 4+ invul save, a 2+ armor save, and also he has a toughness of a 6. So the thing that can wound him on a 2s are strength 12 or higher weapons. He has 5 attacks base. The only penalty he gets it if he's wounded is if he's is to his movement. So he's actually pretty powerful. If he's actually quite a strong beat stick, you just have to know how to really run him. So the way I see it is that, let's see, Chariot character, Storm Rider, Chapter Master, Logan Grimnar. He doesn't. So basically, because he's not considered a vehicle, he's safe. He's mostly safe from anti-vehicle weaponry, from vehicle specific weaponry. So it's like a melta bomb can't be used against him. He doesn't have that cushion where he you would need like a fast rune priest in order to keep up with him. Mm-hmm. All right, Bjorn the Fell-Handed. Heavy plasma cannon. You know what I actually noticed in the Space Marine Codex, if I just do a quick glance over here to the back of the points, is that the points are basically the loadout. The original loadout of the unit is included in the points. You're just adding a few. There's basically very little adding or subtracting. So Bjorn the Fell-Handed, he gets Assault Cannon, Heavy Flamer, Hellfrost Cannon. Now I was looking for like a rule that they were gonna implement for Hellfrost weapons, but they didn't employ a rule for Hellfrost weapons. I'm sorry, guys. We were holding out so much hope. Rites of Battle. Legendary Tenacity, so he gets a 4+ feel no pain. So he gets a 5+. So Bjorn gets a 5+ feel no pain. He's a vehicle character, Dreadnought. He gets smoke. He has a smoke screen keyword. Let's see. You have Ulrich the Slayer. Because Arak has the Saga of the Bear, he's actually quite durable, especially because he's the only guy in here who has a Storm Shield that gives him a 3+ invul save. Let's see here. Champion of the Kingsguard, so each time that he makes a melee attack against the character, he can reroll his hit rolls. Faux hammer is actually good. He doesn't get a... Wait a minute. Oh. Faux hammer doesn't get any penalties either when he uses it. Ulrich the Slayer. Now here's the thing. His Slayer's Oath. For each enemy character or model that is destroyed. No, not for each. So basically, Arak is strong. Yeah, Arak is good. So basically, like, range 12, assault 1. Sure, that's powerful. Sure, that's good with Arak. And he adds one to the damage characteristic of his attack. So when he's fighting against a character or monster. So when he fights against characters or monsters, his hammer is causing damage 4. Ulrich the Slayer. Now, like, I would have liked more characters on Thunderwolves, like a Wolf Priest. I converted my Wolf Priest on bike to be one, but I used the oval base for it. I like Thunderwolf Cavalry, I really do, and I just feel that I just feel like sometimes they don't have a lot of time. They probably don't have a lot of time. But although a Wolf Priest because the thing is that a Wolf Priest on a Thunderwolf is not as fast as a Wolf Priest on a bike. Although I really wish that the Wolf Priest on a bike were not just Primaris models, but they reduce them to only to the Legends book. Let's see here. With Ulrich, his litanies are automatically active when he kills a monster or a character. So you want Ulrich at the forefront of any major conflict against special characters. It's like I would say try to surround the guy surround the character before he tries to make an escape. The Wolf Helm of Russ. I think if I remember correctly, the Wolf Helm I could advance and charge. Yeah, yeah, you could advance and charge. It's that would work. That would work. And also, but it's like being able to use your litanies, and it's like, speaking of litanies, why didn't I think of it? Commanding Oratory. Basically, what you can use Commanding Oratory, which is a stratagem in the Space Marine Codex that allows you to use a litany in any phase instead of the command phase. It's 2 command points, but it's actually effective if you want to try and get off the Canticles of Hate, which adds 2 to your charge rolls. Let's see here. Ragnar Blackmane. Now here's the thing. I've been noticing in a lot of battle reports we have Ragnar Blackmane. He's good at killing so much. Yes, I understand it. He has his War Howl, which can reroll charges. His Berserk Charge, he gets an additional 3 attacks, and he also, because of his Warlord trait, he can fight first. And his Battle Lust, he can make a consolidation in addition of moves that can move an additional 3 inches in his consolidation. But it's like there are also so many other characters in here that you can use to. There are so many other characters in here that you can use to try to actually be able to get off a lot of damage. Crom Dragon Gaze. I'll have to fiddle with this one. Crom Dragon Gaze. He's basically a standard Wolf Lord, but he has like the Fierce Eye that allows him to. Eh, the Crom Dragon Gaze. Fierce Eye, while an enemy unit is within 3 inches of this model, subtract 1 from combat attrition tests taken for models in that unit. What's his Warlord trait again? He should have Crom. Warrior Born, so he fights first. Worm Claw, Strength. Wow. So Strength 7, AP -2, 2 damage. So he can kill Primaris. So if you're going up against Primaris, he can kill Primaris Marines easily. You would need... what would you need? It said that, in the lore, it said that his Wolf Guard rival the number of... Wolf Guard within Grimnar's company. So I would try. So you could try to run him with Wolf Guard and also small units to try and do as much damage as possible. Harold Deathwolf. Let's see. Now I like with Deathwolf, he gets the outflank ability. So he gets the outflank ability. His Mantle of the Troll King gives him subtracts 1 from the damage characteristic of attacks. Lord of the Wolfkin. So he gets 6 inches of this mod. So cavalry and beast models can use his leadership. And he has a storm shield. It's not a special storm shield. His company champion is Canis Wolfborn. Honor or Death. This model is eligible to perform a heroic intervention within 6 inches. Each time this model makes a heroic intervention, move so long as it ends that move either closer. It's good. Canis Wolfborn. I haven't played with Canis Wolfborn yet. I've been wanting to. Martial superiority. At the start of the fight phase, if this model is engaging enemy characters, it can fight first in that phase. Born of Wolves. 2 additional attacks Wait a minute. I'm losing train of thought here. While his friendly Space Wolves Cavalry, Beast, or Cavalry or Space Wolves Chariot unit is within 6 inches of this model, each time that unit fights until the fight phase is resolved, each model in that unit can make 1 additional attack with its Teeth and Claws, or Crushing Teeth and Claws, or 2 additional attacks with its Flurry of Teeth and Claws. So it's a good support. So he's a good. So he's not just a company champion. He's a good support unit if you want to run Logan Grimnar. On Storm Rider. So I would have him probably as a hunt. Like I would say a support, like a hunting detachment. Let's see. Wolf Guard, Battle Leader, and Terminator armor. Basically so you have Wolf Lord on Thunderwolf. All these guys are just... And you have the Battle Leader on Thunderwolf, which are basically a lieutenant. Oh! An interesting thing I came up with. You can have a Wolf Lord because of the company command ability. What you can do is that you can have, say, a pack leader no, a Wolfguard battle a Wolfguard battle leader in power armor. But what he can do, but what you can end up doing is that you can use their from the Space Marine Codex, and what you can do is that you can put in, like, say, a Space Wolf, a Wolf, a Thunderwolf cavalry model, a Wolfguard battle leader with on a Thunderwolf, and you can, and basically that'll just cost you one command slot, one HQ. It'll just cost you one HQ slot. So basically, you can have these guys, because I was messing around with a lot of the rules for trying to, like, okay, I wanted these guys to fit into my army, like for a middle, for an incursion detachment. And I was trying to, and it's like, oh, you know what? I'll just use the what is it called? I'm sorry. It's like this rule is stuck in my head, and I feel I can't continue until I find it. It's not far. It's not far. Primaris Lieutenant. Let's see. Company heroes. That's it. If your army is battle-forged, then for each lieutenant unit included in a detachment, a second lieutenant can be included in that detachment without taking up an additional battlefield role slot. That's good. That's very, very good. I could use that to kind of get 2 lieutenants for the price of 1 command slot. And you can even use a lot of the old... Here's the thing about Primaris Marines. They're powerful, but they don't have the tactical flexibility like like the Firstborn. Like, say, let's see, not that. Well, actually, maybe that. Take a look like this. Company champions. It says here, command squad. Each chapter company veteran unit included in an attachment, 1 command squad company champion can be included in that detachment without taking up a battlefield role slot. But another is, where are they? Company veterans. Company veterans are going to be perfect. I am sorry if that was loud. Hold on, I might be able to do something about that a little. Okay. So company veterans have this ability that says they're bodyguards. Also, what they are is that if this unit is from the Space Wolves chapter, it has their Wolf Guard. So these guys are actually powerful. You can just drop these guys, and these guys can protect the character. And also, because Bjorn, the Fell-Handed, has less than 9 wounds, you can use these guys to protect Bjorn. They're 3 power level. They're cheap, and they can only be taken in a squad. Also, they can take 1 heavy weapon. So yeah, these guys, and like look at also another unit that can help control the flow of battle, the Judiciar. The Judiciar has with their tempor mortis. So let's see what else. Wolf Lord on Thunderwolf, Wolfguard Battle Leader, Blood Claws. Blood Claws have not changed. They have done so far. I know a lot of players would rather play Blood Claws than Grey Hunters, and I like Grey Hunters. I like the tactical flexibility of the Grey Hunters. They're excellently developed. Sure, they don't have those AP1 bolt rifles, but they do have those, but you can make up for that with plasma guns and the plasma pistol. A squad of 10 can take two plasma guns and a plasma pistol. Use them in drop pods to provide fire support. Use them. Thanks, Daniel, for yeah, it is. Thanks, it is a cool stream. Let's see here. But yeah, what you can do is that you can provide some decent fire support for these guys. Use Grey Hunters to provide some decent heavy fire support for Blood Claws. They're tactically flexible. Give them chain swords, and they can provide that backup. The way I see it is that I had this great analogy. The Space Wolves are more akin to a shield wall army. When one blade is trying to hit a guy, two shields come up to the defense to block it. So if you're taking as a tactic, you could try taking, say, double timing or triple timing a unit, so an enemy unit, so that it's like they will be crippled. But the trick is not to overcommit. Don't commit too many units to a single unit's destruction. Otherwise, what ends up happening is that you end up ignoring the more important units that try to slip through the lines. Let's see. I was in Grey Hunters. Oh, actually, I was thinking about it with Grey Hunters also. Is the wolf standard. Use that when you're if you're trying to get off a drop pod assault. Use the wolf standard with a wolf priest nearby, and what you can use, and that wolf standard will allow you with. And I would give the wolf priest maybe Saga of the Hunter. Because Saga of the Hunter, what that will do is allow your wolf priest, and try to get Saga of the Hunter to go off, and that wolf priest will have the ability to provide some you can advance and charge, and also maybe give him the Wolfen Stone, because what the wolf standard does is that advance roll and charge rolls of 1 get re-rolled. So that basically guarantees you that basically adds in multiple ways to provide a decent combat, a decent charge for your Grey Hunters if you want to get them in. Let's see, Wolfguard. Wolfguard, powerful. Very powerful. You just gotta load them up properly. Because these guys can, you can actually use Wolfguard alongside that drop pod to provide some either fire support or melee support. Lucas the Trickster. Now, Lucas the Trickster, that is a powerful ability. Now the thing is that he actually is good. Let's see. Lucas the Trickster, it says here, Blood Claw hero. So Blood Claws can make Blood Claw type units can reroll hit rolls. You know what GW should do is that they should try to make it give certain keywords to multiple Primaris units, like Hunter or Claw or Fang, so that the rules can be stretched out a little more. Let's see. Pelt of the Doppelganger. Each time an attack is made against this unit, an unmodified hit roll of 1 to 3 always fails, irrespective of any abilities that the weapon or the model making that attack may have. Now he's not a core unit. He's not a core unit. But you could try to make it so that minus, so like, all right, so basically hit roll. Let me think. Let's think here. You can't hit him on a 1, 2, or 3. But if you have something that reduces the hit roll of each time an attack is made, yes. Use, say, murderous hurricane, or have a rune priest use their psychic ability to kind of make it harder to be hit. Then what ends up happening, your guy cannot, basically Lucas the Trickster wouldn't be able to be hit on a 6. He can be hit on a 4. He could only be hit on a 5. He could only be hit on a 5. And also, Lucas would also, because he's a character, he, sure, he has the Master of Mischief ability, but he does not, he does not have, but he can still gain a saga. Because right now they haven't FAQ'd the Space Wolves Codex. So he can gain a saga. So what kind of saga would Lucas benefit from? Let's see. Oof. I would say Aura of Majesty, because what ends up happening is that I would say give him Aura of Majesty, because what that ends up doing is that it nullifies his rebellious presence rule. So basically, all models around him would not suffer a minus to their leadership. Wolfguard Terminators are still the same, still good. They're at 3 wounds. And also now we come to a new part. The Hounds of Mordecai. The Hounds of Mordecai are basically an anti-psyker unit. They are Reavers. Although there is a problem. They're mostly situational. You would have to use them only against, you would only likely take them if they had if your opponent used psychers, mostly psychers. So it says here, the Hounds of Mordecai, they're a Reaver unit. They move 6 inches, weapon skill 3, ballistic skill 3, strength 4, T4, toughness 4, wounds 2, attacks 2, leadership of a 7, with a 3+ save. The pack leader has a 8. Every model is equipped with special issue bolt pistol. Now that's the thing. They're not enabling you to kind of mix and match here. Hunter. Now they have a rule here. Now they have multiple anti-psyker rules. Hunters beyond death. So models in this unit ignore the lookout sir rule. If the target is a psyker, in addition, each time a model in this unit makes an attack against an enemy psyker, add 1 to that attack's hit roll and add 1 to the damage characteristics of that attack. It's good. It's basically, if you were going, say, against, what else? What am I thinking? If you were going up against the Grey Knights, if you're going up against Grey Knights, Orcs, you're dealing with some powerful anti-psyker stuff. And I think a lot of people underestimate that. Is my guy gonna put a psyker in his unit? And it's like, most likely there is a chance that they are going to put psychers into that unit. Runic Totems. This unit can only be selected as the target of an enemy psychic power if it is the closest one. And they also get a 4+ feel no pain against. I also get a 4+ feel no pain against psychic powers. And Mordecai's howl is kind of like a terror howl from regular Reavers. While an enemy psychic unit is within 18 inches of this unit, subtract 1 from psychic tests taken from it. While that psychic unit is within 6 inches of this unit, subtract an additional 1 from the psychic test taken for it. So your opponent is basically going to try his. So your opponent is basically going to try his best to keep his psychers away, as far away from these guys as possible. But it's like, just try to slow these guys down so that your Hounds of Mordecai can catch him. Combat knife. Now the thing is that these guys are equipped with special issue bolt pistols and combat knives, but the problem is that you can't really load them out with anything else except special issue war gear for the pack leader. Stratagems. Let's see here. Relics. Here we are. You can't do frost weapons, but you can do Mordecai's teeth bolts. Almost bit my lip. You can do Mordecai's teeth bolts for them. That would work. You know what's interesting? If you use Mordecai's teeth, this interesting thing. If you use Mordecai's teeth bolts for the pack leader of a sniper squad, then you can really bring down a lot of heat on an opponent. But the Hounds of Mordecai, there's not a lot of variety. Like I'm saying, there's not a lot of variety with these guys. They have powerful rules, and I know, and a strong bolt pistol, but they can really kind of reduce a lot. They can really use a little buffing up. Although there is the stratagems in the Space Marine Codex that allows for. Man, I'm rummaging through everything. Here we are. Terror troops and guerrilla tactics. Because Reavers and they're in Phobos armor. Guerrilla tactics means that they can once they are done in the movement phase, and they can disappear. I wish, however, guerrilla tactics could be used for scouts. Now, if it were for scouts, then they could just fall back into the mist. This is the thing; they're adding so much to the Primaris Marine stuff. All right, now to the major thing. Wolfen and Wolfen Dreadnoughts. So with Wolfen, they haven't changed in points that much. They haven't really changed in points. Wolfen are basically more of a glass cannon. Here's the thing. Their movement is now 8. They have toughness 5. So that gives them a little cushion. A little cush. And let's see here. Death Frenzy changed. So, and they have Wolfen Howl. Death Frenzy said, Death Frenzy is, oh, Wolfen, such fun fluff, but the official models are so ugly. Yeah, they can be ugly, but I think that's as what is it that Wound Weaver said in Raptors. The price of greatness. That is the price of greatness for Wolf, for being so powerful. Death Frenzy. So basically, what it does is that Death Frenzy, it means that if the Wolfen have been charged, so basically, it's like if a Wolfen hasn't had a chance to attack and they're killed, then they can fight back, and then they can fight back. I would say that the old Death Frenzy rule was pretty fun, but I think it was too powerful. I think it was far too powerful, so they balanced this out a little. Wolfen Howl. While friendly Space Wolves infantry, biker, or cavalry unit is within 6 inches of this unit, you can reroll charge rolls made for that unit. While friendly Space Wolves Bloodclaw unit is within 12 inches, you can reroll charge rolls made for that unit. And they have Savage Killers, and they have the Savage Killers ability, which allows them to be always considered to be, which allows them to always be considered to be in the combat doctrine. I mean the assault doctrine. So they get an additional attack for shock assault. Wait a minute. Each time, in addition, this is always treated as having made a charge move for the purposes of shock assault. So yeah, they are always considered as having been always being charged. Let's see here. They have that's a lot of power. And it's like I'm saying, these guys the Wolfen they're not as, because the thing is that because of the storm shields being reduced from a 3+ to a 4+, they still have a 3+ armor. Wolfen can make their armor saves on a 3+. Or against like weaker models, against weaker weapons, or they can get a 4+ armor save if against AP -1. They're a glass cannon, powerful, but a glass cannon. I would say try to get them. I would say if you're trying to run Wolfen, try to get them into a transport. Let me think. A Storm Wolf. Now, I know Storm Wolves are pricey for points, but if you can try to toss them in with maybe a Wolf Priest, no. Let me take a look at some of these litanies, because some of these litanies can be a little iffy. Litanies. Give me a litany. My kingdom for a litany. Yes. Wait, almost there. Nope, went too far. Honorifics, requisitions. Sheesh. Here we are. Yeah, you can't use the litany of hate on most basic core. Yep. You can't use the litanies on Wolfen because they're not considered core units. Because I can understand that because if you give these guys the core power, the core keyword, they will become too powerful. So basically, you have to find a way to get them to the front on your own. Like I will put them in either in a Land Raider, a Storm Wolf, or even outflank them. You can have an entire squad of Wolfen outflank, and say this for an entire squad of Wolfen, outflank them. They can reroll their own charges. But try 10 Wolfen, and they'll just come right off the battlefield. They'll charge in, and they'll massacre anything. The trick is get them into combat, and once they're in combat, that's where they shine, because they will go right at it. And it's like if enough models it get reduced, because it's like if you lose enough Wolfen models, what can end up happening is that you can use the Savage Strike to go for. Can Wolfen go in a drop pod? Sorry, Audrey. Wolfen can't go in drop pods. In fact, it was they're they use we they actually no, you can't. You can't. Because one moment. I'm trying to get to. Here we are. Rhino, Razorback. Here we are. It cannot. Yep, drop pods cannot transport jump packs, Terminators, Primaris, Wolfen, or Centurions. But that's okay. That's fine. I would say drop pods are a decent support unit if you're trying to back up the Wolfen. You know, give them a little fire support. Like. And I would not try to do the Stormfrag auto launcher. The Stormfrag auto launcher is like, because basically Wolfen have a 5+ ballistic skill. That's not gonna be as effective. Although they are blast weapons. I would try that. I would think on that. But with Wolfen, I would say it's a pricey model. It's a pricey unit to pull off. Now you have Wolfen Dreadnoughts. Wolfen Dreadnoughts are actually pretty good. The Blizzard Shield, and actually because of the new rules, the Blizzard Shield is that no, not Blizzard Shield, because of the new rules, because it's a vehicle, it can shoot into close combat. So if you could give these guys a couple of heavy flamers, and they can shoot. Then give them a couple of heavy flamers, an axe and a shield, or a claw and a shield, and they can do a considerable amount of damage. Because that heavy flamer is AP 1 damage, so it just makes it easier for them to shoot. Murder Lust, it allows them to reroll charges. Duty Eternal, each time an attack is allocated to this model, subtract 1 from the damage characteristic of that attack. That's powerful. They can move 8 inches. They're not core units like regular dreadnoughts, but they're decent enough. Murder Fang, oh man. Murder Fang is a very powerful unit, I tells you. His murder claws are strength ×2, AP -3, 3 damage. Also, he can move 8 inches. That's powerful. And no, you can't give him a saga because he's a vehicle. Cyber Wolves. Now we're finally into the fast attack section. Cyber Wolves, powerful beasts, very strong, 4+ invul save. They don't have a reduction to their leadership when they've been killed. And also they're swift hunters, so they can advance and charge. Let's see. Thunderwolf. Now we're on the Thunderwolf Cavalry. Actually, Thunderwolf Cavalry are fine. Nothing too big, nothing too bad about it. They're powerful. They're strong. They're powerful. They can do a lot now. Because it's like, and actually, I was like, a lot of us were probably wondering why are you not giving these beasts these powerful, an effective way of getting into combat? It's like, these are Fenrisian wolves, and they get and they, if they these are Fenrisian wolves and giant Fenrisian wolves, and it's like they can advance if they move, they're fine, but if they advance, they can't charge. It didn't make sense. It was. I think it's like they were afraid. I think they were like, oh, this doesn't work, or they're too smart for that. Let's see, Fenrisian wolves pack mentality. Now, the way I see it, if you're going to if you're going to run a full squad, a pack of Fenrisian wolves, what you should do is that make sure to put a cyber wolf in there in the squad in the pack, because what ends up happening is that they have a leadership of a 4. Cyberwolf has a leadership of a 6, so they'll use the Cyberwolf's leadership instead. Use the rest of the squad. Use the rest of them as a shield for the Cyberwolf. Don't just give up the Cyberwolf, because what that ends up happening is that drops their pack. Squad mental issues down. The squad leadership down. I think I'm whispering. But what ends up happening is that what you do is like, because if you have like 10 or more Fenrisian wolves in it, that increases it to 2. That increases their leadership by 2. So you have leadership of, so basically that's a leadership of an 8. So so if you have a Fenrisian wolf squad of Fenrisian wolves with a cyber wolf, that increases their leadership is basically 8. So they won't. So it reduces their chance of combat attrition. And it reduces, and also it makes it so it's harder for them to run away. So Sky Claws haven't changed. Yeah, Sky Claws haven't changed. Long Fangs have changed. They can, because this is the thing. Long Fangs are basically Devastators. Devastators, they now can split fire, and but now Long Fangs, they have access to a pack leader in Terminator armor. They even have access to what am I thinking? They even have access to grav weapons. And they also have the Signum. And actually, a lot of people have pulled out a strategy that you can use with Long Fangs. Give the guy a what am I thinking? Give the guy the pack leader a assault cannon, and have the Signum increases ballistic skill to 2. And what else? And have the Armorium Cherub allow him to shoot twice. That's a powerful ability right there, because that's 12 AP -1 shots. Good at killing hordes. Stormfang gunships. Now we're finally into the flyers. Stormfang gunships. The Hellfrost Destructors are actually... The Hellfrost Destructor is good. And also, here's the thing. They changed... The thing is like, they changed it from a Melta array. No, they didn't. What am I thinking? What it is... Alright, so what it is that this is like... We all thought, okay, these are no... Like... Oh, Stormfang gunships are going to be like this. These Stormfang gunships, they're going to be these cool, heavy 4 multi-meltas. 2 heavy 4 multi-meltas. That would destroy the tanks. That would destroy tank columns run like two or three run two storm fangs, and boom, you've wiped out an entire column of tanks. But what has happened is that it's now a heavy D3, strength 8, AP -4, D6 damage. The damage becomes D6 plus 2. It becomes D6 plus 2. So, not bad. Not too bad. Stormwolf is actually pretty good. Stormwolf, but it's like, this is the thing. I took a look at it. I took a look at the points of these guys. Stormfangs and Stormwolf are 300 points. Now they have weapons. Their base weapons are the Hellfrost Destructor, the Skyhammer missile launcher, and 2 Storm Strike missiles. But you can switch out the Melta Array. Oh, I see what they did. No. Sorry, I was messing up. I was looking at the Stormwolf. But what it is that you can switch out. You can just basically add in the las cannon, the Melta Array, or the twin heavy bolters. So basically, I like where this codex is going. The capabilities are incredible. So the tactical talk is that how we can use these guys as a decent counter assault force. Just like you can basically control the middle. The goal is control the middle of the board, but also have units wreak havoc behind. Also have other units wreak havoc behind enemy lines. Like, I'm gonna send a drop pods. I'm gonna disrupt my opponent's back line. I'm gonna set my Wolfen are gonna charge. My Wolfen are gonna charge in. I'm gonna have a full squad of Wolfen. Like 5 of them can have special weapons, while the others can have Wolfen claws to save up on points. Because the Wolfen claws are strength 5, AP -1. So you can do a lot of damage with that. That can chew through a lot of infantry, and the Frost Claws can do the same. Actually, you can do Frost Claws. You can do Frost Claws if you want, because still you can those chew through. Those can mulch entire squads, and their movement. So it's like armor. I would say. Hold the middle of the board. Have guys hold the middle of the board. Try to have the back of your line. Try to have the back of your force under control and secured. But what ends up happening, what you end up doing, send guys in to disrupt the enemy, to disrupt them. Take out their heavy weapons, take out their special characters, take out anything that can pose a significant threat, that can basically do high damage to your force. Because what that can end up doing is that can buy you time to respond to a situation in the back of your line, or to refortify the middle of the board. Oh, wow. 2 hours and 12 minutes of talking. I have never done that before. So I hope this stream was fun for you. I hope this stream was fun for you guys. It's like, I'm just trying to have the stamina to do this must be amazing. I applaud YouTubers for going through that. But I just hope that I'm able to get as much of my stuff painted and ready to go, so that when things start clearing up for all of us, we can actually be able to get a game in. So I hope you all had a wonderful time. As much as I did. I hope you're not all exhausted. I know I had a few upticks in my views, and but I hope you all had fun. And I hope as best you can, because a guy talking for 2 hours straight, pretty good for a first date. Yeah, that is it is. But I hope you all. I would just to drop in and out. I had to drop in and out, but it was a good stream. Thank you guys. Thank you so much. I hope you all have a good day. Have a good